Good day, everyone. Good to have you today. Bidi Sword Show. My name is Bidi Nana. If you remember, UNICEF earlier in 2023, 25 million Nigerians will have food scarcity. And when this was said, a lot of people laughed at it. People criticized it as if it's something that was not going to be possible. But today we are faced with a lot of food scarcity. A lot of Nigerians, even with our vast empty land, cannot afford to feed themselves. Notwithstanding that, with this food, we can actually make money and live good life. And that is why we want to talk about mechanized farming today. Another way we can farm. You remember, when we talk about mechanized farming, it means that with little manpower, with little money, we can make a lot of things possible. Today, I have an expert in the house, man who has turned himself a farmer. And to think about it, he's a young, vibrant, and classy man, and he's a farmer. Unlike what we know in this part of the world, when somebody say, I'm a farmer, we are expecting to see one old, weak man. But this, my farmer today, is a classy, touche, and post man. Join me to welcome today, Mr. Stephen Adoye. Stephen, good to have you on BD Sword.
It's good to be here, Bidi Nana, for the invitation. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you. When somebody say I'm a farmer, there's this mindset we have about one being a farmer. We're expecting to see an old man, an old woman who looks tattered. That's actually our mindset in this part of the world when we say someone is a farmer. And look at you. You're classy, you're posh, you're everything. And you said you're a farmer?
Thank you very much for that question. Well, let me just give a brief notation to farming and agriculture. Agriculture is the beginning and the end. We all know that even our industrialization was founded on agriculture. Most of us will remember the story of Joseph in the Bible when there was hunger in the whole land of Egypt. And, because of the wisdom to increase food supply, he actually was able to have enough food for not only for Egypt, but the entire world. So there was a need of increase of production then. Then we moved to industrial age cotton. We all remember the spinning jenny. And obviously at that stage, people are getting into production. They're producing, equipment and machineries. And of course, they thought of the best way is to look for powerful people, strong people from Africa to fund the industrialization. But today we all have to rethink our food production. We move from that age to the age of computer. And now we are in the age of food sustainability. We have over 7 billion people on the face of the earth. How can we feed them if we do not use mechanization, precision agriculture, sustainability, and of course, value chain, which comes in a very practical way? We can introduce everything into agriculture to make it work. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Now, when you talk about mechanized agriculture, there's this thing that comes to the mind of an average Africa. When you talk about mechanized agriculture, they felt, GMO, and we've had a lot of stories about GMO, how unhealthy it is for human being. So most people, when you talk about mechanized agriculture, that's the first thing that comes to their mind. How do you address this?
Thank you very much, Betty, for that wonderful question. Now, when we talk about the topic of agriculture, we all know that 70% of our farmers in Africa are small-scale farmers, and they are basically, subsistence farmers. We think of, Wellington boots and torn jackets, old men who, of course, we do not even care about their well-being, and we expect them to feed us. That is basically not possible. Now, Africa is the future in terms of mechanized farming, in terms of precision agriculture. Most of us do not know that. But what I'm trying to the message I'm trying to put across is Africa or Nigeria has a very strong, vibrant, young community. And most of this young community are into computer and they're into the social media. May I tell you, this is a good news for all those who are computer savvy, IT savvy. You are just into a new beginning of agriculture. One, Africa agriculture potential holds the keys to its true economic liberation. Key is community-based system. We are encouraging community-based system, not corporate monopoly and monoculture commercial farms. Dear BT, you mentioned the issue of GMO. We are actually, the good news is, we are not into GMO, we are not into chemical fertilizer, we are in the natural sphere on not destroying the environment. In fact, we will in our system with the Green Label Initiative concept, we are using the organic fertilizer and we let the earth replenish so that it will give us like the way it used to be before. You will plant yam and yam will grow as yam. You will plant onion, onion will grow as onion. You don't have to get chemical fertilizer to increase production. That is the good news about the mechanization, about precision agriculture, about adding of value chain. We have integrating value chain, decentralized supply chain. You know, when you look at a cattle, let me give an example. When you look at a cattle as a local farmer, you look at raising a cattle when you need money to sell it, and people will buy to slaughter it for food. But when we in precision agriculture look at a cattle, we are looking at 80 different integral value chain, 80 different entrepreneurial that will come out of a cattle. Which, do you know that chewing gum is produced from a cattle? Do you know that some of the cream, some of the pharmaceutical, the blood of the cattle itself, it is used for pharmaceutical industry and fertilizer. So when we look at the end, there is no waste in the cattle. So that is just an example. So when we look at the fact that we liberate the issue of agriculture when we think of mechanized agriculture. Over 60% global arable land is in Africa. Over 70% of the population directly involved in agriculture. Over 70% of the population. What a shame that this 70%, they cannot even produce enough for their family to eat. We have the youngest continent in the world. Plenty sunlight, good weather and good soil. Social values and communal mentality is our African heritage. And let me just conclude by saying, in 2030, agriculture will account for $4 trillion in Africa in agriculture. So who are the benefactor? We are not the benefactor. We are always seen from the European, the Americans, the Chinese as raw material producer. We don't process. So I will go into process later on. Thank you very much.
Please, I actually want to, you said we are not the benefactor. We're always seen as the resource materials. Why is this so? Why do the West keep extorting from us?
Thank you very much. So? Thank you very much. For the question, the reason is that we have been told for more than 400 years that we are not able to think for ourselves. We are only good enough to produce and sell. We think short term. But you cannot blame the Europeans, the Chinese, and these people. You can't blame them. They have seen opportunities. They have seen group of people who do not actually, who do not even value what they have. They have seen people who only think short term. So that is why Green Label Initiative, my consortium, was set up 5 years ago. The idea of the fact that which way Africa, how would Africa now get into a point where we are no more raw material countries. We're not only producing orange to be sent. We're not only producing flour. Do you know that the bark of orange itself can fetch millions? But do you even know that nowadays, every little new thing that young people are delving into, it's all based on raw materials. When they actually produce snails is for food. But when I look at, say, snail, I look at snail as a $3 billion return on investment. That's what I look at. I look at snail not as food, but as the calcium from the back of the snail. You use it to produce calcium, and calcium is used in pharmaceutical industry. The slime of a snail is basically for cosmetic industry, and it earns. Do you know how much you get for a slime of snail? A kilogram of it is actually earning you between $30,000 to $80,000. So you can imagine it's even more expensive than gold. You see, when you look at how these things are being done, they get the raw material from us, come here to Europe and America, produce, sell the finished product to us, and we are owing them. That is why we are using the narrative. Thank you very much.
This is too bad. Now, please, we are here now. How can we? I think one of the things that is making us do that is the poverty mindset that we have allowed to steam in us for a very long time. Many times we actually look at now. We don't look at tomorrow. So every Black person wants something for now. So we actually give out our future for now. I think, but these Westerners, they look at tomorrow, but we look at now. So now, from what you've said, another problem I know young people are having now, you said a lot of digitally compliant youths have an opportunity of making millions if they could look in this direction. Another problem they're having now is that you tell them to leave probably their comfort zone and go to the rural area where these farms are. So a lot of people are finding it where they might not have this, urban life, this town life, this maybe enough network to connect to the people. This is where government actually come in. Now, what do you say about this, about the youths and the movements before they could get this done?
Thank you for the question. I've got a good news for you. In fact, they do not need the government. They just need to get into the job creation and entrepreneurship on the program we offer. The program Green Label Initiative offer is a team of young-minded people of different. Do you know that to actually make agriculture work, you need a carpenter, you need an IT specialist, you need a doctor, you need a socialist, a sociologist. You need all the aspect of work, of life. Do you know, basically, if you look at the way agriculture is being done, that's why I said earlier, it is being done in Africa monoculturally. It is being done completely separated. The mindset is that if you want to go agriculture, you have to leave everything behind. No, this is a good news for you. The good news is this, that we are creating what is called green villages. Green villages is a closed loop of a community. Imagine a closed loop of a community where everything is there. Open field farms, beefy farms, greenhouses, poultry farm, piggery, accommodation, administration and commercial facilities, factories for processing, forest is there, and you have residents of all the people who will be there. Imagine a 100 acres of land. You can have 500 people living there, and these 500 people are fully employed with the community. So this is how we can change the narrative. You don't have problem with electricity because you're going to have 24/7 electricity. It is going to be powered by wind, by sun, by water. It is going to be powered with the nature that we have. You don't have to actually be looking for another telephone connection. There's going to be on 24/7 non-stop network. There's going to be a clinic. There's going to be supermarkets. There's going to be everything, a closed loop of society. That is what we think of a farm village. In fact, imagine you look at a place where you actually want to have this so-called green village, and you can imagine you just place it there, and it covered the solution to you producing, to you processing, to you marketing, to you exporting. So can you imagine how wealthy such a closed loop green village
will be?
is? And you know, it is a coming together of people of different walks of life. Farmers are there, IT specialists are there, accountants are there, logistic for transport is there, doctors that are going to be in the clinic, they're there, hotels will be there where people will be working. So you can imagine how our approach, we've been studying this for more than 5 years. We want to, at the end of the year, at the end of the day, create a lasting solution to this problem we're talking about. We don't want to be raw material continent anymore, raw material Nigeria anymore. We want to be producers.
We don't want to be raw material.
Thank you.
We don't want to be raw material in the hands of Westerners again. Now, Ovia, from what you've explained now, this is a very huge, investment. How do you intend to go about it? Does it mean that people will subscribe to it, or are you going to talk to state governors? Are you going to how could we make this thing possible in Nigeria? I'm just interested in making this thing work.
Let me say this: the problem we usually have is that fundings are not forthcoming. Our banks, our government, they are corrupt. So I would just say, young mind, young people, energetic men and women who are listening to me, do not think of getting donation funds or money from the government. You're just going into another red tape. Now, just talk to us. What we have done is, in order to mitigate all these problems, corruption is there, you can't get money. You try to do everything, it doesn't work. And even your sales doesn't also go well. So what do? So in our concept, we plan funding into it.
Wow.
How do we plan funding into it? We are not looking at the Europeans or Chinese or the Russians to bring money. No, the money will come from us. Do you know that we are working on billions of dollars? We are working on billions of dollars.
Wait, so Stephen, hold on. You mean you people have the money just for them to get themselves together and talk to you people? You make everything available for them? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, we don't have the money. We are not bringing money. No European is bringing money. Nobody is bringing money. The money is going to be in Nigeria, in the village, in the place where the project will be done. Let me explain. How.
Please.
Do you know that when it comes to resources, to the natural resources in the world, guess how many percent of natural resources we have in Nigeria?
So many of them. I mean,
what are we doing with them? What are we doing with them?
Just selling them.
We're creating havoc for people, digging holes, having artisans to destroy the land, and every chemical is being used. Chinese are coming. let me give you a story. Let me tell you a story. There's a story of a state, and I'm not going to mention the state in Nigeria. They are so corrupt that they allow the Chinese to come in. They allowed the Chinese to come in and they gave them license to get golds. Now, these Chinese people, they bribed or gave the governor $20 million. I repeat, $20 million. They came in, dug everything they have to do, use chemical. The people in the community are suffering now. They have tuberculosis, they have cancer. Now, they do not only go with the gold and the raw materials and the mineral resources, they also went with the sand because they needed the sand. So they went with the sand. They came with cargo planes, private jets, took everything from that state. And the quantity of what they took with them is $1 billion. I repeat, $1 billion. That is the havoc we are doing to ourselves. That is the destruction that we're doing to ourselves. Now, imagine you having that $1 billion to us. That just to keep it short and simple. This $1 billion that the Europeans are taking, the Chinese are coming to steal from us. We are not going to destroy the land. We have a system that will not destroy the land. But just imagine, you, BD, you have a license. You have a license, and the license is in your hands. Instead of you going and getting people to come and, when I say license, exploration license. So you get it, or somebody have it, or in your land, we found out that you have them. So we're going to monetize them. And that is what is going to be used to produce thousands of green villages in Nigeria.
Yeah.
So we do not need to go. The government don't have money. The government are broke. Our governments are broke. Number one. Number two, the money they have, we are all debtor. Let me just say this. Do you know that in Nigeria today, each Nigerian is owing the international community 50,000 naira? Even the unborn Nigerians.
I know.
We are all in debt. And everything they come to do, either they take it away and betterment their country. Do you know the ironic is this? Some of our leaders, they bring billions of dollars to a country like America, Germany, UK, and invest there. They invest billions. They escape with our money and they invest. So let's not talk about them anymore. Let's now talk about how we are going to rescue our country, how we're going to feed our nation sustainably, how we're going to create an atmosphere that is better than Europe. Good air, good sustainability, good health insurance, good social facilities. That is what we are opting for.
Wow, that's a wonderful one. I'm telling you, I wish a lot of Nigerians would buy into this and tell you from what you have just explained here. And you said in the next 2027, we just have about 4 years to go. And within that 4 years, a lot of things could be turned around in people's life, in families' life, and in Nigerian society generally. Now, please, Mr. Stephen, one after the other, can you tell us how people can get to you and make this thing work, make it possible? My own is just to make it possible. I want to make it work. I want to see it work. I want to see it in the life of every Nigerian. Can you, explain to us step by step how they can get to you, how this thing can be made possible?
Well done, please. Thank you for the question. Now, I believe that the first thing we need to do is to have a team that we're going to do a presentation to.
Yeah.
If you believe that you can be one of those who is prepared to feed Nigeria, just look, you don't even have to have big land. Even if you have 50 square meters, we have a system that can make you and your family and your neighbor to be sustainable in green vegetable, in okra, in tomatoes. We're not talking about billions of dollars here. We're not talking about millions of dollars here or millions of naira. We're talking about people coming together, not even thinking of the money they will use, but to come together. Somebody has the land, another one is an IT specialist, the other one is an agricultural expert, the other one is also in this and that. So we have, like I said, if you look at our type of the model, we call it model 100 acres, model 100 acres. It compasses everything. We can have 500 people there playing different roles. So what I would suggest is, let's come together. We have done the research. We have proven the efforts. We have done 5 years. Actually, I must tell you, myself and my partner who initiated Green Label Initiative, we both resigned from our jobs because we had come to a point. I am a lecturer, a university lecturer, and I am a public speaker worldwide. Now, I purposely decided that Africa needs something else. Africa needs revolution. So when we started about 5 years ago, we thought it's going to be a month that we'll come up with a white paper. Lo and behold, it took 5 years, just to let you know how essentiality our problem is in Africa. But finally, we came with a blueprint. And this blueprint is what we call Green Label Initiative. Our concept is creating a holistic approach to our problem in the continent. We don't want to be seeing our men and women dying on the sea in Europe, looking for a green pasture where there's no green pasture at all. We want to establish something that the Europeans will want to come in and live in our society, in our community, ourselves, because of what we have achieved. So I would, in summary, my advice is, if you are interested, and I'm sure you must be interested because you could be the Joseph of your time, let's come together through Madam BT Nana, and let us create a platform where we will do a presentation, we will encourage you, we will even get it to a point where we get the necessary funds from our own land, from our place. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I like that. You don't need to have money or have the bags of money, like, that's the mindset we'll have in this part of the world, that before you can get into business or do anything meaningful, you should have bags of money. But Mr. Stephen Adoye is saying, no, the most important thing here is the interest and dedication, ready to offer your dedication, interest. Come in as a group of people, sell it to your friends, sell it to your relatives, sell it to your colleagues. If you guys are interested, bring yourselves together, and I tell you, I'm available to talk with you every time. Then you get across to Mr. Stephen Adoye. And I tell you, it's something that we will not regret to do, because a lot of people, like he said, a lot of our youths are dying in Mediterranean Sea every time. People are being humiliated abroad, even this Jackman syndrome. If we can create this, I tell you, a lot of Nigerians who even abroad will come back and have a good life and a meaningful life to live. You know what it's like living in a garden? That is what everybody dreams, living in a garden, and you have everything in that village and it's working for you perfectly well. I tell you, that is one thing everyone will want to do. Now, before I leave you, talked about snail, how people can make a lot of money in snail farming. I think I'm so much interested in that, because I know with that one, I don't need big farm. I can even do it in my small closure. Am I correct?
I like the idea. Yes. You see, I always believe start small, think big.
Yeah.
And you see, even when we train you, because we're going to train you, we're going to equip you, we're going to tell you that, in fact, you will have a set complete. We have our experts who will give you a complete turnkey project for you to raise your snail. And we are going to buy the snail you are raising.
Wow, that's a nice one.
I
So
repeat,
I already have a market. So I already
I,
have a market even before I start producing.
I repeat, we will assist you to produce with little money. It will not be exhausting for you. You will produce and we will offtake.
Buy it from you, from the
We buy
person.
it from you,
That's a good one.
not as a raw material. No. We buy it for you from you as a partner. Because let me tell you this. If you do not follow the hygienic, the system, and how we advise you to do it, we will not buy it. But if you follow and you do exactly what is to be done for us to offtake tea from you, because we provide all the equipment, all the instrument. Did you know what? You don't need to be specialist. You feed them just like when they're in in the bush. You bring the bush thing that they eat and bring them for them to eat healthy. You see, don't think of when you raise a snail. Do you know that for us, we treat a snail like a queen, like a queen, like a
That's a
king.
nice one.
Did you,
Wow.
do you know why we treat it like a king and queen?
No.
When we buy these king and queens from you, they will now come to a place where they will live like royal snails.
Yeah.
They comfortably release their slime. They comfortably eat there. If you see some of our workers there, you will think that they are going into a hospital laboratory because they dress.
Wow.
Inside there is hygienic. You can't mix it with anything. So that's why your production must be also hygienic. I'm
Standard.
really looking forward to having as many, as many small little start and people making money and living fine.
Thank you very much, Mr. Steven. This is where we're going to draw the curtain today. Thank you for coming on the show to show you that we are very much interested in making this work in Nigeria. We'll be having this interview with you once every month so we can get it to as many people that need it. We just want to see it work. We want our society to turn around and become a better society, and we want a lot of people to have job, have something to do so that they can solve them problem. We're actually looking at solving the problem of poverty in Africa. That's just the main purpose of doing this. Thank you for your time. We appreciate, and we hope if you are watching this, see, Mr. Stephen have given you an open check. Just get yourself together, speak with him. They will help you get the fund, and you kickstart this green farm community that will turn a lot of things around in your life and in the life of people around you and in a society generally. Mr. Steve, thanks for coming on BD's Word. I appreciate
Thank
you.
you very much, Mrs. BD, for these great initiatives. I look forward anytime you need me, I'll be there. And I wish you a very Merry Christmas in advance and a wonderful New Year, and everybody else.
Thank you very much. Wow, it was a nice time with Mr. Stephen Adoye, mechanized farming. Don't miss this opportunity. If you're that person who has been crying for money, I tell you, this is the easiest way you can make money. Get in contact with me and I'll link you with Mr. Stephen Adoye. And I tell you, you will not regret this opportunity. Bye. Thanks for joining. And later, remember to share this so it can get to a lot of people. Bye.